the difference when you're in a family and friend relationship with the Lord. David, the 34th number of the Psalm. Beginning with verse 1, he begins to write, I will bless the Lord. I will. The will is capitalized. David is excited. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. David got happy and said, oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. David said, let me tell you why. I sought the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. Here to the family. They, but again now, they, remember that they looked unto him and were lightened, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all, not some, all his trouble. The angel of the Lord encamped round about them that feared him and delivered them. The plural, there go again. David said, I tell you what, Chase. You just tried everything. You didn't take everything else. You didn't shot up everything else. Smoked up everything else. Drank up everything else. Took some in everything else. That was good thing. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. The bonus is blessed is the man that trusts in him. I want to talk about how they have sex. May not get invited back. Let's just thank you. I know this is my first time. Come on, sit down. Thank you. Yeah, I got to give it out. Might not get to come back, so why not? Have you had a text? I know your mind is all come everywhere right about now, but hold on a minute. Don't go reminiscing. No. Don't think about yesterday. No. But how you had a taste? You know, we've heard a whole lot of things. We've tasted a lot of things. But here David is right. David was in a little trouble. And I looked at David's situation when I thought about family and friends period. But don't you know that because of the things that we experience like everyday living, friendships have been destroyed. Family relationships have been broken. And I wonder why the same brother that you slept in the bed with, you don't talk to no more. The same friend you shared that peanut butter cookie with, just don't talk no more. train, you carpool with her. And when they didn't give you gas money, you stop fooling with them. Friendships broken. Families have been broken because of drugs, alcohol, unfaithfulness. Families are being destroyed because of attacks. I looked at that. I thought about that. What's going on here? That in the midst of David's trouble, let me tell you what David was going through real brief. David had just killed Goliath. Yeah, just killed Goliath. And before he could get his praise on, he found out Saul wanted to kill him. After leaving and running from that situation, he finds himself going down to Gath and get there and the folk bragging about David, pumping up saying, Saul killed his 1,000 and David killed his 10,000. Now he in the Philistine city. And the king, he and all is bragging and boasting how bad David is. Now if you hear about somebody before you let them take you out. The scripture said back in Samuel that David played crazy. You know, we good at that. You know, like, we play crazy. We want to do something, we play crazy. We don't understand something, we play crazy. David played crazy. And the law was the only reason the shit didn't kill him because it's just the law that kills crazy, man, because they don't know what they're doing. I know about the lunatic in the cemetery. The only reason in the cemetery because they couldn't kill him. So they had to get him away from everybody. But the story goes on. David was going through some things, so he escaped that one. He came to get this knucklehead out of here. David went to a cave. And I told you about David again. When they heard about David in a cave, they left David's family and came where David was in the cave. 400 men left where they were and came to where David was. But in the midst of all David's trouble, yet you see, at one time he gave up. He quit because he thought I said, I will bless the Lord at all times. David knew where his help came from. And the problem is because once you find out and understand where your help comes from, you will stop chasing, dabbling in everything. David said, I will glorify the Lord continually. It seems like every time I get in a mess, every time I get caught up, every time I get pushed back, pushed down, God always came to his rescue. It started out first when David prayed a personal prayer to God. David was exalted on a personal level to the fact that he was exalted, other folks saw him. What they saw was God had brought David. And they wanted to be attached to David because if God brought David through, if I'm attached to David, God will bring me through. If you attach to Dr. Gaines and God brings Gaines through, God has no other choice but to bring you through. I'm going to brag about the Lord because the Lord is good. He said the humble. Not the folk that know everything. Not the folk that know how to get over or get by. That they came to him was humble said, and when they saw him boasting in the Lord, he said they heard and they was glad about it. To the point where they started out a personal prayer to God, a personal praise to God. They moved to a church setting, and David said, oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us lift his name together. Come on, man. David, you know, got some of the number bandwagon start shouting a little while. They shout, everybody shout. You don't got to go back to the church. You go to shout, they look at you, but I'm shout too. Don't know why they shout, you go to praise, but they see you praise, because they doing it, I'm going to do it too. But somebody wants to ask the question, they can understand, you have to understand, you're excited, they understand you want us to praise with you, but what's going on here? David said, I cried out to the Lord, and he heard my cry. That was scripture. He said, they looked unto him, and were enlightened, and their faces were not ashamed. The radiation that David gave off, where the Spirit of the Lord had overwhelmed him, to the point that they were happy about it. They wasn't ashamed to be a part of God's program. You know, we as believers sometimes just be ashamed. I don't want to sing in the choir. They can't sing that good. That's what we do. I don't want to listen to the school. There ain't but one or two of them. I ain't going out to visit. Ain't nobody going to be up 2 or 3 of us. Instead of getting on the bandwagon and praising God, if it's 1 or 101, God still deserves the praise. David said, this poor man, I had to look at that because God has an all call for all of us. Because that 400 that left home and what the David was, those were the messed up folk. Those were the folk that was in debt. Those were the folk that was homeless. Those were the folk that was without. Those were the folk that needed some help. And here David on the one they found out David was in a cave. I'd rather be right there with David in the cave than be dealing with the situation that I'm dealing with right now. David, let me tell you how the Lord works. He said he cried out. And he heard him, and he said, and he saved him out of all his troubles. It's so funny, every time we try to make a way for ourselves, we pay this bill and think we got to buy them, and next year do. You know what to do. Put $5 in the gas tank, that's all we got. We try to go cross town on $5. That's the kind of stuff we do. And we wonder why it always fails. The reason why it fails is because you have put yourself in it. But when God gets in it, He fixes all things. Everything is done. The man at the fear of Bethesda, he didn't, when he's going to take up his bed and walk, he didn't have to go back to that street no more. The one with the issue of blood, he didn't have to look for him again. When he fixed it, it's a done deal. We have nerve that the Lord has brought me out. But yet and still you're crying the next day about another promise. The Lord hasn't brought you out. You still suffering. But David said, when I cried, from my heart, when I cried out to Him, He delivered me from all my troubles. To the point that the angels of the Lord encamp round about them that fear Him and delivered them. Which means He brought them out. That was in need. And put them with David, and they were taken care of. Family. And friends. David said, listen, oh, taste and see. See, a lot of us will experience the benefits of the Lord without a relationship. A lot of us won't feel the Spirit of the Lord but never had an encounter with the Lord. It don't work like that. I don't care how much you look at food, how much you smell food. If you don't intake food, you still gonna be hungry. David said, oh, taste and see